Well, hello everybody, this is DearMamaSal on a beautiful Wednesday morning. It's 18 degrees, which is probably 18 degrees in southern British Columbia, which makes it 65 degrees translated through into America. Not a cloud in the sky, and you're probably wondering, if that's so, why are you wearing a jacket? Well, very good question, and one that requires explanation. It's been my experience when it's that hot, they hit the air conditioner heavily at work, and I'm normally very grateful for having a jacket with me, or a cardigan. So I am busy watching at the moment somebody with three huge bags of recycling pop cans, by the look of it, or soda cans, depending on which country you're in, on their bike, and you're going, there must be, you know, I'm trying to imagine, how do they get their leg over the bar of their bike when they've got, they'd have to sort of half get on first, wouldn't they? Yeah, got it, okay. Because you know my mind goes there, how do they get on that thing? Because they obviously can't swing their leg over the back of it, because they've got three piled high things of cans, and also, or tins, I guess. And also keeping it balanced would be very difficult. Okay, so you don't have to worry about that this morning. Really. It's not important. So I'm just thinking, you know, 3 big bags like that probably will make them about $15, I suppose. You could eat for a day on $15 if you were careful. Or more than careful. You could probably eat for 2 days on $15 if you were careful. Alright, obviously I'm going to have one of those days today where my mind's going to try and solve the world's problems. Do you ever have a day like that? I hate it when they do that to me. Alright, so here we go with today. Tonight I'm going to get home and start and pack. Not start packing, I have to pack tonight, ready for the Vloggerfair weekend, because tomorrow I will go to work and then go straight to Benji and Judy's from work. And then we'll change cars and go to Vloggerfair. So that will be a fun thing. Looking forward to it, actually. Now the other thing is, it also means that I have to think ahead. If any of you can relate to this, I have to think far enough ahead, because I won't be back until probably late on Sunday. And therefore I really do need to do enough wash before I go to make sure that I can survive when I get back. So it's all planning, right? You've got to think these things ahead, which I'm sure I'm more than capable of doing. Been very quiet on the email front recently, so I don't have any emails that I can discuss with you that came through that were asking questions that you might also have comments on. Because I do like to do that when I can. I think one of the things that will be interesting for me is to see how many steps do we do at Vloggerfair versus the steps that we took at VidCon. As you know, VidCon was an incredibly big conference center, and it also was on 3 floors. And I was interested yesterday, I think it was, that VidCon sent through some follow-up stuff, and they were saying that they have no intention of traveling VidCon. In other words, they're not thinking of taking VidCon to another location. And I would think because the Anaheim Trade and Convention Center is so big, they can, it must be one of the biggest ones there is. And even though it taps out at 20,000, and it was sold out this year, it must be difficult to find venues that will hold 20,000 people if they all arrive at the same time. So this is good. We will see what we will see when it gets down to Vloggerfair. Now, Vloggerfair is, I think, in a way, a lot more intimate because although they have a green room, I guess for those of you who don't know what a green room is, a green room in any sort of talent type situation is where the talent can be with themselves and not necessarily in with the public. So they normally have lounges. For example, when I was being interviewed on television, you know, they'd always have a green room where they'd put you while they were waiting to interview you. And sometimes you were there on your own, and sometimes you were there with other people who were about to be interviewed maybe after you or whatever. So a green room's like a holding pen, if you like. It's an upmarket holding pen. How's that? And so I seem to remember that at Vloggerfair last year they had a green room, but it was so cramped that I felt claustrophobic in it. So I didn't stay in there. At VidCon, they had 3 completely different levels. So in other words, the general public couldn't come up to the creator level unless they paid for that ticket, or they couldn't come up to the industry level unless they paid for that ticket. So that, in a way, was a self-policing type system. And I can assure you, they had security on the elevators and on the escalators to make sure that nobody got up to a higher level than they had bought a ticket for. And they were really quite strong on that. And it was funny because you'd be amazed how many people thought those rules did not apply to them. Yes, but I'm important. Well, did you get the ticket? No. Then you're not important. Well, they didn't say that, but when I say important, I mean I am entitled to go upstairs because I'm important. And they just went, you know, do you have the right ticket? No. Then you don't go. But no buts. If you don't have the right ticket, you don't go to the next level. So it was an interesting dynamic that went on. And I must admit, by the time you'd done it a few times, the security people got to know who you were. Because I was quite surprised how many times, you know, they just smiled. I just nodded, thank you, and off I went. But I guess we were wearing the right documentation around our necks. That also helps, right? So you might wonder why, for example, the vloggers wouldn't want to be with their viewers. Well, I'm sure that those of you who thought that one through can understand that you need to have a break. You need to be able to get to a place where you don't have to smile necessarily. You might want to sit down and have a cup of coffee quietly and regroup. Or, for example, as you know, Benji and Sean Cannell spend a lot of time interviewing people, and so they need with Austin, who's their videographer, they need space to be able to do that. And I must admit that, as I think I said at the time of VidCon, it was really nice to be able to have that space, especially in the washrooms. So here's a trick if anybody's going to Vloggerfair. I don't believe they have separate washrooms for the vloggers. So if you want to meet everybody, just stay in the washroom the whole time. You will meet them all. Well, all the female ones anyway, if you're female. Or all the male ones if you're a male. I'm not recommending you should switch. Oh gosh, I could start a riot now, without even trying. Imagine it. Just the thought of it. I'm also wanted to say I'm very, very thankful, indeed, to, again, a couple of the viewers who have written to me privately and said, just go and enjoy yourself. Don't worry about us, the viewers. Just go and have fun. Which I think is so generous. And I remember people doing that before I went to VidCon. And really, I kept that in mind. I tried to do some for you guys, and I tried to do some stuff for myself. And so I think I'll probably do the same thing, which is do a bit of both. In other words, do some vlogging, but also take the time to just enjoy myself. Oh, very funny story. In yesterday's vlog, no, the day before yesterday's vlog, I had made a comment about Nana and Rick having fun with their new house. I said, they've moved into their new house and having fun. And, well, apparently Nana was playing that vlog and Rick was busy trying to build the second closet that they needed, additional closet that they were putting. I think they put one in the kitchen and now they were putting another one down in the basement. And he's in the middle of building this thing, and you know what it's like when you're trying to, well, if you built a closet or anything like that, you will know, even if you get one that goes together fairly easily, it's still very frustrating. Apparently he was in the middle of doing this and he heard me say, and Rick and Nana are having fun in their new house. Apparently he said, yeah, tell me about it, Sal. How cute was that? I just thought that was so funny. And I really have to thank Nana for letting me know, because I got a heck of a laugh out of that yesterday, and hopefully you guys will get a laugh out of it when you hear this. But that takes a real sense of humor when you can talk back to the vlogger. Good stuff. So what's our thought for today? I would say that our thought for the day is, I don't know, I get a real sense of peace today. I don't know why. Maybe for the deluge that's about to happen. But I really do. I feel, and that's okay. I don't feel, as you can probably hear, I don't feel very rah about anything today. I just feel very peaceful, very quiet, and quite happy with that. I was totally overwhelmed at work yesterday, and I realized that there's just too much for me to do. And sometimes you just have to know that that's a reality. And keep control of doing what you can without overly stressing yourself, because overly stressing yourself will cause you to be sick. So in order to stay well, I just need to do as much as I can and don't worry about the rest. And that requires that you prioritize a lot and you get yourself under control quite a bit. And it was really cute because one of my colleagues at work, I knew she was particularly stressed yesterday, so I went to go and give her some support. And she didn't snap at me, but basically told me to go away in a hurry, in a very nice way. And I did. And I totally understood it. I just rubbed her shoulders quickly. But I thought it was so nice that, a couple of hours later she came to where I work and said, "I am so sorry I was rude." And I said, "No, you were not rude. Don't for one second think you were rude, because you were not. You were totally stressed out and you treated me with great respect. Even though you were totally stressed out." And I said, "No, the last time I checked, you and I are buds, so if I can't understand the pressure you're under, then that's not very thoughtful of me." So in a way, it was good to know I wasn't the only one under a lot of stress yesterday. So it doesn't make it any easier, but it is what it is. So today, in fact, last night I got back from work and I picked up some poutine on the way home, and you all know I love that, and sat quietly, and then I started to edit the video. And once that was up and done, which was about, I guess, just after 9, I basically turned over and went to sleep. It was... No, that's not true. I answered some emails and stuff, to be fair. But I was definitely feeling much more sleepy than awake from 9 to 11. But I woke up a number of times during the night. But luckily I went back to sleep very quickly, so that was fine. So I wonder what my mind's probably busy tracking on Vloggerfair at some level that I don't know about. That would make sense. All right, everybody, hope you have a wonderful day. Be at peace. That warning that you heard is that sensor. That's going off again, so that's okay. We know that it's just gets stuck every now and then, and that's why it does it. All right, so this is DearMamaSal saying have a wonderful, peaceful day. Look after one another, and most of all, remember to look after yourself. Bye-bye for now.